I'm a college student and I'm studying game design currently. Last year, I studied software development, web development, and game design at the same time, and also had to have a year of work experience. The main problem was getting a job. Getting a job in the industry is practically impossible, and we needed work experience to even complete our course. So the hunt was on. I was looking far and wide, everywhere. Every website, every job opportunity, every email was sent out, and there was no luck. No one in our course could get a job, and we all needed one. Otherwise, we wouldn't get our degree at the end. So I went onto Discord and went to Immert. This is the Irish game development Discord. And I spoke asking if anyone was taking people on. This is where one guy came back to me. He offered myself and another guy we're going to call Torch a role. And the three of us had to build this guy's original game, his idea. His game was a sequel to his original game, Wrecker, that he created. So he had the documents about the world, the ideas, all written out, except for there was one issue. There wasn't much about how the game loop would play out. We had all the information on the world, the naming of things, but we weren't really given a game. This was where myself and Torch, we worked with what we had. We knew the game revolved around defending a tower, fighting off hordes of bugs, and repairing things as you went on. We started, and I worked on the level design, enemies, and some programming, while Torch worked heavily on the programming in this project. And the guy who was running it with us, he also helped where he could, and he was still learning Unreal, but he had the experience from a lot of old school and retro games when it comes to game development. So he was giving us ideas on how to handle things based on the older ways to do it, is the best way to phrase it. As a team, we worked pretty well. We went on to calls, we had discussions about what we were working on or what we needed to bring to light. We had a milestone sheet, so we had at least an idea of what to bring out and when. And we also got on well with each other, I would say. We did have a few issues, a few moments here and there, but the main issues and struggles that we had was we're three people with three ideas on how this game should be finalized, and there wasn't a clear cutthroat, this is the way. Sometimes one of us would build an entire system for the other two to not realize how that system works, tear it down, and basically extract the skeleton out of that system and use it elsewhere. Or sometimes you would build a system and GitHub, for whatever reason, does not actually push it to the latest build. So when you come back to work on another part of that system, oh look, your work, your several hours of work has magically disappeared. There were a lot of issues in the beginning, from trying to define an art style for the game, from trying to define the gameplay loop itself, to how we even worked as a team and our workflow itself. Because all of us were programmers, not many of us were great artists. I wouldn't call myself a great artist either. And with that, we all wanted to work on the game's foundation, but we all worked differently. This caused a whole heap of issues and slowed us down. And with that, there were several restarts. We restarted the project originally. We put plenty of progress in this version. The gameplay loop was very simple at this point, but it was there. And we went back to the drawing board, back to zero, and we worked on the style of the game. How we're going to make the gameplay enjoyable. We reduced the amount of tasks you had to do from like double the amount to half the amount, while ensuring that they were actually enjoyable to work on. So, for context, this game was about surviving 10 days in your tower. Your tower is on the outside of the final human city, and you have to fight off hordes of bugs. Helldivers, I know. But you're fending off hordes of bugs, you're doing quests, you're repairing it, you're finding different weapons out in the world and bringing them back to upgrade your base. The final outcome of the game is actually pretty enjoyable. The only issue was the demotivation that came with restarts hit us hard. We would work for weeks where we were getting things done, project is coming along, and then sometimes it just, you didn't even want to look at the project. You felt like we were getting nowhere while the deadline was getting closer. Thankfully, the guy who took us on, he also brought on a sound artist and a music artist. His name is Boss. He was working on both of them. He made an awesome soundtrack for the game, and also the sound effects were really nice that he made for the weapons and systems. We also had another guy join our team. His name was Ginger. and he was the modeler. He worked on the actual 3D models, and we made sure nothing was used with AI, of course. Our biggest pitfall was, of course, we were all working on the game, and the game needed to be finished to ship. Except we also needed the store page ready to ship, and this is the issue. We all worked hard, we made the art for the store page, we brought it all up, but we didn't do any marketing. The store page was finished, everything was done, but we never had time to market our game, which I think was our biggest downfall. However, the game itself, it's awesome, very enjoyable, and I'm pretty happy with the final project. And if you are even mildly interested in trying out Wrecker 2 for yourself, you can give it a go. It's on Steam for just €4. And yeah, let me know down below and let us know what you think of it. After all the restarts, we kind of got into a team workflow. We worked a lot better with each other, and we built most of the systems that were needed foundationally and ensured that they were expandable so that anyone else could work on them. Of course, there were still some moments here and there and tensions may have rose, but in the end, we worked pretty well as a team. And it really went to show how different it was to work as a team versus solo. As a solo developer, you can literally just come up with the idea, bring the idea into the game. No problem, no issues. But when you're working with 2, 3, or 5 people, what happens is you end up going, oh, I want to add X and Y, except for someone else doesn't like X, another doesn't like Y, and someone wants X, Y, and Z in the game. So, without any full plan to the game, you tend to fight over what you actually want to implement, and spend more time conversing and disagreeing about what should be in the game rather than making the game. Was our game a success in the end? I would say it was a success in the fact that we brought something out and finished it. Not many people do get to that point, and I'm very happy with the final product. The game as it stands is pretty awesome and decently fun. You should see gameplay going on throughout this video. And the main lesson was learnt, and that is, as a team, have a plan and work well together. And try to stick to that plan that you have as close as possible. Of course, to an extent. Having more people does not mean you're going to bring a game out quicker, because we originally expected this game to be finished in 3-4 months, but I think by the end it took about 6 months. And of course, it could have taken that long solo, or it could have taken longer as a solo developer. But what we did learn was plan. You need to plan your game. And also make sure Git works and make sure your stuff gets pushed. That's also very important. Yeah, make sure Git pushes your work. Now, if you did enjoy this video, do make sure to drop a subscribe down below and comment on what you want me to talk about next time. Thanks all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.